Hi everybody. So ever since we started this channel, there is one common question between people that's like about this bookshelf. I know it's probably not the biggest bookshelf that you can find, but definitely these books are collected over time and in different places, wherever I went, like airports, bookshops, and multiple other places. Let's have a look into some uncommon books that you in general don't find in the bookstores, and in general people don't recommend you. In general, it's not the top 5 books to read to change your life sorts, but definitely a must read according to me, something that changed my perspectives. Before that, if you're watching this video without subscribing to the channel, definitely consider subscribing, because there are going to be a lot of books, lot of thoughts, and lot of information about products and technology as well. Let's get into the video. The first book that I'm going to talk to you about is Mystic Music. Now, even before I start, anything related to some gurus of India, especially Sadhguru, people will be like, oh, you are a Modi supporter, maybe you're supporting this guy, or maybe he's cutting down trees and then killing elephants. To me, it's not about that. See, there are a lot of books that we read, there are a lot of information that we consume, which is like probably created by a lot of people. You might like them, you might not like them. I think it's a different thing. But what they are trying to convey as a content, if you can take it up and then sensibly consume it, I think it is still good. Because, take some books like Mindset. You don't know who the author is, and you've never met them or even seen their pictures or anything, but still it's a brilliant book. So I think that way you can appreciate some work which is giving you good perspectives, good thoughts, and written sensibly. So that way Mystic Musing is probably one of the most sensible book. It has a lot of questions that asked to Sadhguru, and then Sadhguru happened to answer them. And some answers even I don't agree with, but most of the answers are pretty good and definitely thoughtful. The next book is something related with health, especially our brain. The Brain Fog Fix. I think I have mentioned about this book in multiple other conversations also. Like even when I go for stage conversations and public speaking, I'll definitely talk about this book. Because this book talks about our eating habits and how that can make our days productive, how that can make your future better. In general, we always blame ourselves for not being productive, not paying attention, and not probably doing work a little faster, not able to read anything a little faster in 2x, 10x speed or whatever, right? We think it is genetic. We think that's how I've been wired, that's how my childhood been, I've been an average student, whatever the reason could be. But you can still rewire it if you take care of your brain, if you can take care of all the 3 chemicals that's secreting in your brain: serotonin, dopamine, cortex. And I think these terms are explained so vividly in this book that you will love this book. Some of the diet that's been given in this book are very US centric. They'll ask you to eat fruits like blueberry and raspberries, which you might not get in India. But I think you will get the context, like omega-3 and the other diet are pretty good. Even if you're not very diet conscious, even if you're not very, productivity conscious, but still after reading this book, you will be at least mindful about what you're eating, about your sleeping habits. Then you will be easily tying that with everything that you do, because your body is your temple. I mean, if you take care of it, everything else is taken care. The next book is my personal favorite. I don't know how many people will accept to most of the concepts in this book. So this is How to Be a Boss. Boss. I think I'm pronouncing it right. Boss. It's some superior level of boss. It's by Lily Singh. Most of you might know Lily Singh as a YouTube star. I think she has some 16 million followers by now, and she's been doing YouTube videos since 2012-13. I remember watching her comedy videos ever since. But in this book, first good thing about this book is it has a lot of pictorial representation with her own pictures and all that. The next thing is she's talking about conquering, not just surviving, and that's something so related to me, and I really believe in doing 100% or 200% whatever I try to do. That's personally my belief, and it kind of resonated with her ideas. So I felt it's one of my personal favorite, and if you get an opportunity or a chance, probably you should read it. I don't know if it's worth buying it for 800 rupees, but if you get a online version of it or ebook version of it, I think you should definitely give a try reading this book. I think there are quite a lot of books asking us to start with why. I think Simon Sinek's Start with Why and Finding Your Why. There are quite a lot of books, but the timing is very important, and you have to know when to do what. If you take the history of so many startups, they've been very successful because of the timing that they were launched. It's not just with the startup, it's not just with making a switch from one company to another. It's not even a decision that you take, but when are you supposed to do it? The timing is the most important thing, and you'll get a real good sense of timing, and you'll get a very good understanding on when certain things needs to be done from this book. See, I'm not any expert when it comes to skincare or cosmetics or anything, but I really believe we should understand how our skin works, how our body works, and why we look in certain way. And there's nothing wrong in understanding our skin. Only then we can think about treatments or taking care in your own DIY or whatever. You could be a woman or you could be a man. I think taking care of yourself is the first thing. So that way, this is a very old book called Skin Talks. It's by Dr. Jayashree Sharath. I really don't know how this book even came to me, but I ended up reading it like last year, and I really felt this is very important to understand your body and skin. Did you know that you only, not just you, it is us, we only use about 2 to 3% of our brain's capacity, but if you leverage your brain and activate every part of your brain, you can do so much more. Look at the athletes, look at people who are able to remember so many things and getting Guinness records and things like that. So this book is a very good exercise. It's called Train Your Brain, Ultimate Memory Hacks by Shirin Stephen. If you take up these exercises, these are like pretty easy ones, like the Sudoku or brain hacks sort of puzzles, but pretty interesting, and you will see your brain is getting activated day by day. So I think this could be like the first thing that you do in the morning after you wake up or before you go to sleep. Just one exercise and you will see the improvement yourself. The next book, I don't even know if the stores will have this book called Call of the Mall. I think it had a cover and I kind of lost it. It's a 2004 book. So any content that you find in these type of books, not just this book, but even if you get an opportunity, if you go to some old libraries, where they will have a lot of older books, and the content that they have probably written in 2000 or 95, which will still make sense. Like, you can't really take that template and put it now. Probably they're talking about fax machine and floppies and pagers and things like that. But how people are discovering problems, because all of us are trying to bring in solution even without thinking about the problem. Is that really solving a problem, right? So these concepts probably we cannot use it on an everyday basis. So this book is more about why are we buying certain things, why a mall is probably designed in a way, why the bookstore is somewhere and the cloth store is somewhere, why the kids essentials are like down beneath, and where the other extra safe and lifestyle things are on in front of women. So many things that 60% of it, if you sensibly read it, you can definitely reuse in the e-commerce era as well. It's basically hacking human psychology and making them buy, and you'll be very surprised. So before we move to the next book, if you've not subscribed to the channel, definitely consider subscribing and then hit a big like button, so I will know you like the sort of book reviews and these sort of tours to the bookstores. And how about after lockdown, I also go to my favorite libraries and my favorite bookstores, and then we talk about certain books. Okay, moving on to the next and the last book, 6 Secrets Smart Students Don't Tell You. Like, when I saw this book, I know it's absolutely relevant to me because I'm not in the school or college or in any place where I am going to institution and then learning. But I wanted to know because when I was a kid, I was a very average student. Like, I've never been in the league of these studious people and never been in the part of very Muckfellows team. So I wanted to really know the secret, but trust me, I really felt I so wish I had this book at least 20 years back. Trust me, they have some brilliant frameworks which will help the students. If you are a parent of a teenager or a schoolgoer after first, second, third grades, I think this book is genius. This author called Chandan Deshmukh, he's from Bangalore, and he is brilliant. It talks about all the hacks. There's one hack called Peacock with 2 chairs. Can you believe it? Only if you read them, you will understand why it's named in certain way, and you will definitely miss like, oh, I so wish I read this book few years back, just like I did. So with that, I think I picked some of the books from my bookstore as much as I can with the time limit we have. We can definitely go about with other books as well. Like we can make one video just with Indian authors. We can make one with product books, technology books and things like that. But most of my books are also in Kindle and Scribed, but still we can talk about them. For which you have to let me know what you like on the comment section, so I can pick one of it. In fact, this topic was given by you guys to me. Thank you so much for that, guys, and I have added all the links of these books on where to buy them on Amazon and few other places on the description box. Definitely consider buying them or reading it through some source. And I also personally believe we should avoid piracy. Don't try to read them as PDFs, but as much as you can. If you can't afford, absolutely go for it. I don't have a say on that. But if you think you can afford, definitely consider buying books and then reading. That way they will be motivated, just like how you are motivating me, Roop and Suganya on doing these amazing videos. Thank you so much and see you all very soon.